a juicy engine, compact dimensions, rear-heavy all-wheel drive. These are BMW's secret ingredients for a real fun car. The BMW M240i is not even the top-range model of the 2 Series, but it promises driving pleasure and emotion, like a small sports car. What to do if you want a real sports car, like a 911, but your wallet says no? You can now take one of those light models, a Porsche Cayman, or another alternative would be this car here. The BMW M240i X-Drive for 56,000 euros in the base, or about 400 euros a month in leasing. I'd like to know what's available for the money, and is this 374 horsepower dwarf a good value sports car alternative? Especially in the cheeky colour Thunder Night Metallic, the M240i is quite sporty. In addition, it grows enormously compared to its predecessor, a good 10 centimetres in length and 6.5 centimetres in width. The platform is not that of the front-wheel drive 1 Series, but that of the BMW 3 and 4 Series. The rear-wheel drive architecture promises a particularly dynamic driving experience despite all-wheel drive. The 2 Series Coupe is once again a car for real BMW fanboys and girls. The platform is one thing, but it also allows us to have longitudinally installed engines. That means we don't have a downsized 4-cylinder underneath, but a real BMW inline 6-cylinder. And the second thing is the kidney. It has become smaller again. Why does BMW do that anyway? Everyone complains about these big BMW kidneys, but BMW does it to score points, especially in the Asian market. This car, however, is intended more for the European market, and they were able to use small kidneys again. And we European BMW fans are happy about that. There are no surprises in the interior. It looks like any other BMW, but it is also clearly laid out and of the usual high quality. With 390 litres of boot space, it lies between its competitors Audi S3 and Mercedes CLA, and even a Porsche 911 has 6 litres more on paper. One might think that a coupe is perhaps a little more practical than a sports car. Not in every respect. But while you can completely forget about it with 4 adults in a 911, here you can squeeze into the back of the 2-seater, at least on short journeys. Enough theory. It's getting serious. We let the 374 horses off the leash. That's really brutal. How fast this car is going. It's dangerous, and not in the sense of, I feel unsafe in here, but dangerous in the sense of, I want to keep my driving license. The 2-man coupe is built in San Luis Potosi in Mexico. When it comes to handling, Mexican fire meets German perfection. Handling, chassis optimal. You always have the feeling that when a tyre has a bit of slip, it's directly controlled. You can feel on the seat of your pants meter that the car underneath you is controlling everything, that you are safely on track and going through the bends like on rails. If the driving situation does not require all-wheel drive, all the power goes to the rear axle, for the sake of efficiency and driving pleasure. The steering wheel has a nice, pleasant thickness. That is typical for BMW. It's also relatively heavy, so it's nice and sporty. And not just in sport mode, but also in comfort mode. I can also switch it on straight once. Then it's much quieter in the car, much more pleasant. And you can also use it to drive through the city in a really relaxed way. That's almost restrained, but I find that the spread between comfort mode and sport mode, or sport plus, as it is here, is already an enormous difference. In terms of sound, for a start, everything is much louder in here. And I also think that the sound is very much designed to be loud inside, but not so loud outside, so that you don't disturb passers-by so much. And what is also extremely striking about the sports mode is the throttle response. It is very sensitive. It shifts down 2 gears at once, and when I press lightly on the pedal here, it immediately starts to jerk. The throttle is always there straight away. It's totally ingenious, and the car responds to you. It says, "Come on, give it to me. Step on the gas. I want to go faster." I don't know if that counts as an excuse when you're stopped by the police. I didn't do it, the car made me do it. Probably not. There is more to this little coupe than meets the eye. Despite its weight of 1,765 kilos, it has what it takes to chase sports cars in front of it. I think it's amazing that you don't really notice the weight. It has so much torque. I mean, 1,700 kilos. That's quite a lot for this class. But the torque makes up for it so much, you don't feel it. The 500 Newton meters push the BMW to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.3 seconds. That's a tenth faster than the M2 competition of the previous generation, and only a tenth slower than a Porsche 992 Carrera. It also leaves its direct competitors behind. The Audi S3 Saloon is 5/10ths slower, the Mercedes CLA 35 6/10ths. Burnout fans, however, do not get their money's worth. If you step on the accelerator and brake at the same time, the launch control starts, which brings us to the next point. What we absolutely have to try out again is the acceleration from 0 to 100. We'll do that here now. I also downloaded an app for this on my mobile phone. There is this real race tracker. These apps that you can download are not quite as accurate, but that should be enough for a 0 to 100 acceleration. So we first go into sport mode. Then we switch off the DSC by holding the button down for a long time. And then we have activated our launch control. And that's where we press it now. Wow, he's so fast. And 100. 4.5. That's a solid result. It's rated at 4.3, and we're on winter tyres, it has to be said. And I can improve on that. I've just done a test run and we had 4.2 seconds. So it's not bad. It feels really fast. So much driving pleasure has its price, and not only at the time of purchase, the running costs are also high. With the sporty driving style, 12 litres of fuel are on the clock, and with comprehensive insurance, you can expect to pay around 1,500 to 2,000 euros a year in Germany. The BMW M240i showed a really sporty side today. It may be a little heavier than its competitors, but it's still more powerful and therefore faster. And if I put it next to a 911, in terms of price and performance, the BMW is simply ahead. So in my eyes, it's a good sports car substitute. Of course, it may be that someone misses sitting lower, closer to the road, having more of that sports car feeling, but I think that's something everyone has to decide for themselves. The BMW M240i convinced as a sports car alternative. So at the end of the test, the next question arises. Is there even a need for an M2? We'll answer that question next time.